also contains another new player to this level. That's Gareth McKinless, but he's only played 35 minutes of inter-county football this year. Also making his championship debut is right half-back Kevin Johnson. Mark Lynch named at centre-back. Will he start there? James Keelt has been added to the subs. Donegal have made 2 late changes. Neil Gallagher and Martin McElhenney have been taken out of the starting team. Christy Toy and Oran McNeilish push into midfield. Paddy McGrath comes into the Donegal defence, and Derek O'Connor makes his championship debut at wing forward. And he still has Carl Lacey for company as Odrin McNicholas from Gweedore goes on the attack for Donegal, and he's dragged down. Now will the referee get a black card out? A big decision for referee Joe McQuillan.
Yes, certainly. Just I think he could be in trouble with the black card here. Like, great persistence that time by Odrin McNeilish, went hard at him, and I feel that in that case there was a pull down.
The referee, I think, has just ticked him for it. There's no black card anyway, so Patsy Bradley stays on the field. Christy Toy gets his free as well, and Derek O'Connor is extremely quick, this 18-year-old. Opens up in front of Derek O'Connor, going with his right boot and getting a point on his championship debut, brought into the team late by Jim McGuinness, and has that turned out to be an inspired switch already.
Good finisher, lots of energy. Maybe it's the innocence of youth, but he took that very well.
Anthony Thompson invited onto it. Now Paddy McBrearty, that's very high. What's it like for accuracy? It's come off the woodwork again. They've hit the post for the second time. Thompson has picked it up. Goal scoring opportunity. McBrearty's back in. Missed it. Wide from Paddy McBrearty.
What a chance for Donegal that time. A wonderful shot from out the field. Very well anticipated by Thompson coming off the line. Great vision to feed it, but bad finish, it must be said.
Christy Toy. Only Michael Murphy to his left, everybody else bunched in front of him. Christy Toy up to the right cornerback, Eamon McGeehan. They figured a way through. Here's Christy Toy. He really should score, the Donegal midfielder, and does. Both of Derry's points have been from frees. Both from Donegal have come from play. Emmett McGuckin. Neil McGee there with him. Mark Lynch. He's lost Lacey for the moment. Here's Emmett Bradley. There was a little block on that, but not enough to stop it going over. Anthony Thompson got a touch on it, but Emmett Bradley gets Derry's first point from play after 18 and a bit minutes. Leo McClune of Donegal. Bit of a gap in front of McClune. Needs some teammates to fill some of the empty spaces. Christy Toy didn't want to take on the shot, he was too far out. Now it's Carl Lacey, continued his run forward. Lacey knows where the posts are, and it's gone over. And we're level for the third time here at Celtic Park. Endelin trying to find an open. A shooting opportunity for Niall Holly. That's the way to beat the defensive screen. That's a glorious point from Niall Holly. And this guy, as you can see, is a real talent.
Bradley got the ball, I think, initially in the corner. Holly came on to it eventually, got fed up with the passing, backed himself. Marvellously taken score.
Kieran McFall. Possibilities for Derry as the shot is sent over. And a really good score for Derry.
Just great support and the right angle of the run that
Lovely
time
point.
come up, and very good score.
Odrin McNeilish. A little bit of movement ahead of him. Paddy McGrath has to come up to offer an option, and McGrath gets a free, and Donegal are desperate for a point just before the break, and they'll get the opportunity anyway. Michael Murphy to bring them back to within 2, and he's done that. Michael Murphy, Donegal's first score in close to 16 minutes. Mark Lynch might go back to that. Ryan McHugh just sweeping it at the back. Anthony Thompson firing it out to Michael Murphy, getting the ball ahead of McCaig. Now it's Frank McGlynn. Great roar from the Donegal followers. Leo McClune in a great position. Goal chance for McClune. It's in the back of the net. They're in business. 4 minutes into the second half. Ryan McHugh at the start of the move. Leo McClune applied the finish. McNeilish out to Ryan McHugh. Now Michael Murphy. Angle perfect for him to get away. Brilliant sidestep from Murphy. He deserves a point. And do you know what? I think he's got it. He has. Where did that come from?
His decision-making that time, absolutely beautiful. Took his time when he got the ball, did his little sidestep and just launched it into space in between the posts.
Gareth McKinless. Little gap in behind, and the Lynn lets it off, and now they've got through. Johnson, great block down. It was Neil McGee, the Donegal fullback, who perhaps saved a certain goal, because Johnson was in close to Paul Durkin, still had to beat the goalkeeper, which is no mean feat. Michael Murphy was again out in front, and Donegal have a line ball. Carl Lacey moves into the full forward line to join Colin McFadden, who's been strangely subdued all the way through.
Yeah, and that time, interestingly enough, Jim McGuinness coming over to Murphy just to whisper a few words of encouragement or advice to him. Just let's see, will he have a go at it this time from this angle?
He's capable of it. Wind is helping Michael Murphy, and he's got his foot right through that, and that is absolutely glorious from Michael Murphy. What a start to the second half.
Just watch this. Has the confidence, has the technique, outside of the boot, goes through the ball, beautifully splits the post. Great score, great start for Donegal at the start of the second half.
And here come Donegal again. What a remarkable turnaround, a lot of work to do. They could be in for a goal. McBrearty should have put it in the back of the net. It's gone over for a point. The goal was at his mercy.
But Donegal are absolutely on fire at the moment, just direct running at the Derry defence. They have no answer to it. Paddy Mack will be disappointed he didn't keep that on the carpet.
Derry man Benny Heron going to ground. Donegal have turned it over. Here's Martin McElhenney. Oh, nothing wrong with that. It was Bradley and an awkward looking challenge. Martin McElhenney, big kick this, he's got it, and puts two scores between them, 110 to 9.
That's a fabulous score. The score that Donegal needed, actually.
Once more, it's drilled down the middle by Paul Durkin, and Derry win it with Benny Heron. Ryan Bell, Sean Leo McGoldrick, Kieran McFall. Donegal with 13 back defending this situation. Carl Lacey, another perfectly timed tackle, but Mark Lynch has it, gets the shot away. Lynch to bring them back to within 2. Corker of a point from Mark Lynch. It is the way to beat that blanket defence. And Murphy now leads the Donegal surge out of defence. There's 3 players down, injured, 2 Donegal men. One of them was Murphy, 1 Derry man. The notebook is out for James Keelt. What colour will the card be for the Derry man who's only on the field a couple of minutes? It's a yellow for James. David Walsh. Carl Lacey, Footballer of the Year 2 years ago. They've got McClune in again. McClune has put it over. Huge score at a crucial time for Donegal.
Top draw. Great score for Donegal, badly needed.
No, that was shoulder to shoulder, and that was not clever from James Keelt. He's got a yellow card already, and it's a black for him, and that means he's been sent off and will not be replaced. So Derry down to 14. He's furious. One last opportunity. Benny Heron drilling through. Heron bouncing it, then hopping it, then running into Donegal cover. It's all over. It's all over. A famous win for Donegal. And it puts them through to an Ulster semi-final where they will play either Antrim or Fermanagh next month. And they leave Celtic Park winners by 111 to Derry's 11 points.
An early blow was right. Yeah, well, listen, we knew coming in here today, like, we were facing the 2012 All-Ireland Champions, a good side, and we knew we were going to have to play really, really well. And to be fair, I thought over the great percentage of the game we did that. Just that crucial 10 minutes after half time, we didn't turn up for the second half. Donegal got their crucial scores that proved the difference.
Derry obviously had a certain style of play in possession football, and we felt we had to try and deal with that in the first half. And in the second half, we put Michael to the edge of the square, and it worked well. We got the runners off it, and we got a couple of scores off the back of it, so we're delighted with that. But I suppose the most important thing is we're in the Ulster semi-final, and that's what our focus was coming into the game, and we'll focus on that now for the next number of weeks.
You were unhappy with some of the refereeing decisions?
Well, let's put it like this. I would like some of them explained to me from the GAA authorities, but that's not likely to happen.
What do you plan to do about it?
At the minute, I better do nothing about it, because it wouldn't be a good idea to be near anybody.
Well, clearly, Brian McIver is very frustrated, Tomas. You fancied Derry in advance, I know, so therefore, did Donegal surprise you?
I suppose, Des, when you're looking at it, I called Derry before the game. I was basing it on their league this year. You know, I think Donegal 2013 was always going to be very difficult for them after winning in 2012. They came out and they were disappointing last year. Everybody was waiting to see what they were like against Monaghan in the league, and they were disappointed. I know they had a week's training, but you know, Jimmy McGuinness, to be fair to him, since he's gone up to Donegal, has transformed Donegal. You know, he's put in a system of play, and today we saw patches of it again. Brilliant. There was 12-15 minutes there in the second half where they were absolutely outstanding. I think they're a team. I'd love to see them improving and getting the form back to 2012 and pitting them against the likes of the Dubs. I think it's one team that could possibly cause Dublin problems where they are. And we saw glimpses of it today, but it was a great performance by Donegal today.
He was in Tralee, wasn't he, for a while?
He was. We taught him all he knows.
I know, it's just the way you said, since he went up to Donegal, it's like he popped up there for a while. But what about Derry today? I mean, they were very close in the end.
2 points down in the 70th minute. And yet people are gone home from the game thinking that they were outclassed, and they also led at half time. The reference to the blitz just after half time, that's what undid them. Because once Donegal get into that position where you're chasing them, they're controlling the tempo of the match, and they can ease back into their defensive posture or attack, whichever they choose to do. But Derry lost nothing in the defeat. And I said to you on Friday when we were chatting about the game, I think the qualifiers will be well open to Derry having a right crack at it, and I won't be a bit surprised to see them back in the quarterfinals. They have a very decent team. They weren't far off what was a very, very good Donegal performance.
That Donegal defence, Owen, it's so hard to break down, isn't it, when they're like that?
Yeah, it's just a bank of 4-4-4. Like, it'd be a full forward's nightmare.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be making that much runs, but there's always like the bank of 4 covering you. It's, you know, there's always somebody in front of you. They're so well organised, and they're hunting in packs. They're not just hunting in ones. They're hunting in 2s, 3s, 4s. Yeah. They get that ball, and they were very hard to break down, and then they break at pace, and that's what's killing the teams.
Right. Tomas, you played against them, of course, when they won it in 2012, and I asked you to compare them then and now.
Yeah, when we played them in 2012, they had an insane kind of a hunger about them. You know, they came back. We see here Mark McHugh. This was an aspect of their play that really impressed me. It was really, really hard to mark. They win a ball at defence, they'd come forward in droves. There'd always be an option of 3 or 4 players coming at you. You'd leave your man trying to block the man coming through. It was really, really hard to defend against. They were looking over their shoulder and there was somebody there all the time. 20 seconds to get up the other side of the field, and that's what they were doing. I don't think they were doing that last year, whatever flatness, but today we saw it back again at stages. Carl Lacey, who was missing last year, was brilliant today. I thought he was brilliant altogether today. He kept going. We see him here. They're not happy just to give the ball, Des. They keep running. There's always an option for them. It's an aspect of the game you don't really see with other teams. You don't see cornerbacks coming up as much with Kerry, maybe Cork scoring. They're expected to do it with Donegal, and it's that link maybe that they were missing last year. And here we see Carl Lacey popping up at the end after starting off the whole thing and popping it over the bar. Very, very hard to defend. And I can guarantee you Carl Lacey's man was probably trying to tackle around the middle field instead of tracking Carl Lacey. Here we have Leo McClune coming, Frank McGlynn. This was what they're hard, burst-lunging runs that really cripple you. And here we have Frank McGlynn in, and what a shot over the bar. I mean, McBearty, once I think Donegal get that ball up to their shooters, McBearty, McFadden and Murphy, they're very, very dangerous. Here we have the same again. McGlynn coming, he has options left, right. Gerard O'Kane is caught in the middle here. Does he come to McGlynn or does he stay with Leo McCloone? And he comes into Leo McCloone. What a finish. You know, in fairness to McCloone, he had a great game today. He popped up at 1-1 from play. Yeah, I think in 2012 when they won, Des, I think that support play, do you attack the forward coming, do you attack the defender? They had so many options coming and it was really hard to defend against.
See, McGuinness' tactic on Carl Lacey going to Lynch was brilliant move. Lynch is one of Derry's best players. He's their captain. He gave him plenty of work to do. You seen Lynch with his hands doing this here because he didn't tackle him back, and Lacey put it over the bar. It was great thinking, great game plan.
Yeah. But we had an interesting debate on the radio on Saturday Sport, Kevin, about how the Alliance League had so many high-scoring games, really high-scoring games. And would this happen in the Championship? And you said no, defences.
Well, I thought it was naive analysis because they've had a few months, the managers now. They were never going to start coughing up 2-18 and 3-21. Half-time, I'll remind you, today was 6-4 to Derry. And Derry set up very defensive with Gerard O'Kane as the sweeper. And Derry management are going to have to think about that now for the qualifier road because he's a top player and I really believe he had very little influence in the game. That's no reflection on his ability, just the role he had today. Whereas Donegal, very solid. When they break out, the hit stops it. And once you stop it, they're going to gobble you up. In, out, and they're going to rip it very quickly. That's the pressure they put on the ball. The hand passing and carrying the ball into the tackle invites this sort of a scrum. It's unsightly, but Donegal come away with the ball. And again, I just circled it later on to have a look at the numbers. 12 when we stop it. So 2012, Tomas hasn't gone away. No. And fair play to Jim McGuinness. If you listen carefully to his interview, he said, we had to cope with their hand passing and patient game. It was a hand pass fest today. And they had to cope with it in the first half. They went in at half-time, I would say, in my opinion, in great fettle, saying 6-4, we've done extremely well. Let's get ahead now and let's see, can they chase us? Yeah. And that's exactly the way it panned out. A really good, clever game plan.
There is a temptation when they have so many bodies back, when there's 13 bodies back, half-backs from the other team get forward, you know, and they try to pick holes. And what happens is when they do turn it over, there's space behind you, and they have the players to get it up and the players to come at pace.
Donegal's transition, Tomas, they have it at a very high art. They transition from defence and turnover into attack better than most. And you give some excellent examples of it. They move the ball very quickly through their hands, with runners coming off support, and then the key inside line. Even though McFadden, I thought McBrearty weren't, you wouldn't call them clinical today.
Well, they were bottled up with a sweeper there,
Absolutely.
But Owen, then you take us through that key period at the start of the second